what we're going to be covering today is a lot of demystifying of social media, primarily Facebook today. We're not going to do, there's not going to be much time to cover other things because I know we're probably going to get into a lot of questions as we develop these tips that we have on our sheet. So let's jump right into it, right? So with Facebook, right, there's like a million options in Facebook, and I always say Facebook is so complicated they should actually have like a college course for it because it's like so in depth. So what I want to start with is the basics, right? So I want everyone to open up maybe a tab on their computer where they can kind of follow along. Maybe you could split screen it, or maybe you could jump back and forth. But what I'm going to show you guys is the first thing I want to go is into your business pages. I'm going to have my business page open so you guys can see exactly what a business page looks like. You guys can take notes. If you don't want to go back and forth, you can always watch this video again later and you can get the information and try it out. So as you're seeing my screen right now, the first thing I want to tell you guys is obviously you should have a business page. Anyone that doesn't have a business page, first thing you need to do is develop their business page. Then what you need to do after that is you need to start tweaking the little things that go associated with your business page. So first things first, let's just say somebody leaves you a message on your one of your posts on your business page, right? If you don't change the settings on it, you're going to respond to that person in that thread as yourself. So what it's going to appear as, so right now I have, you know, the Culture Estate page. If I respond to somebody, it's going to say Culture Estate responded to your message and told you this, right? So if somebody left a message for Culture Estate and said, hey, I'd like to know about this house, but then, you know, Louis Leva or Peter, you know, Smith or whoever responded to that person, but who is this person? I didn't leave him a message, you know. So it kind of makes your page look a lot more presentable. So the way you do this is you got to play around with your settings tab. So I left the instructions here on how to do that. So you go to your settings and then you jump into your page attribution, your post attribution, and then you comment as your business page. You see here, where you guys are looking at the screen, you guys can see that right here, all you have to do is jump into your settings. So we're going to stay on this page for a little while because settings is one of the things that we have to kind of familiarize ourselves with because there's so many different options on settings that it's going to make us probably our head spin if we don't know what we're looking at. So I'm going to cover the most important settings today to make your page more, I guess, more user-friendly for the person who's interacting with you. So then what we have next, no questions on this, right? You guys understand that? You know, you want to comment on your page as your business. The next thing you have to do too is I'm going to jump back real quick and show you. You have to create a handle. A handle is something that appears underneath this your little profile picture, and it's basically your name that people can search you under if they want to find you on Facebook. So if they want to find your business page, all they have to do is type in. So yours should read Rocco Culture Estate or Culture Rocco or Diego Culture Estate, whatever you guys put, but make sure you have something because a lot of people I've seen pages that have thousands of likes on their page and they don't even have a handle, and it makes your page look like it's really unprofessional, it's unfinished. So make sure you always you get a chance to create that, and by doing it you just have to click here and type in whatever you want to type. Alright, so that's one of the things. It just makes life a little easier for people who are trying to find you on Facebook. Okay, so then we're going to create what's called an automatic responder, right? We're going to jump back into our settings. An automatic responder is going to help you in a couple of ways. What it does is, jump right into messaging. What it does is that Facebook gives you a rating on how long it takes you to respond to your clients. So if it takes you 2 days, 3 days to respond, that shows on your business page. So if you're gonna be using the platform to get business, you want it to read that you get back to your clients as soon as possible. So what you want to do on this section is you just want to jump down to where it says Response Assistant, and you just want to click where it says Send instant replies to anyone who messages your page. And then you click on it, yes, and then you give it a little message that says, thank you for reaching out to me. I'll get right back to you in your question as soon as possible, or however you want to word that. So make sure that you play around with this setting, because that way people feel like, you know what, you're attentive to your questions and to your clients. So that'll be really good for you to do. And if you want, in this message, you could also say, while you're waiting, please check out my website, Sophie Sells NJ, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, because that person may have not even noticed that there was a website link on your page. So it's just a couple little things you guys can do to get people more involved with or engaged with your page. All right, so that was pretty simple. That's not a hard thing to do. I left the instructions on the form here so you guys can see that. Then we're gonna want to curate our page, and we want to get it in front of the people who are relevant to our page. So if we're selling cars or if we're selling houses, we have to make sure that we're targeting our page to those people. So the way we do that is we have to make sure that we click the right audience that we want to find us. So what we do now is we're going to be here in our settings page, and we're going to click on a tab that says Preferred Page Audience. Once we click on Preferred Page Audience, you're going to see here that I've already created an audience that I want to follow my page. Most of you guys probably haven't done this yet because you didn't even know it existed. So what you have to do in here is you have to go in here and edit. You want the demographic that you want to be involved and engaged with your page, right? I picked a very young demographic, 21 to 65. You guys can do 30 to 50, whatever you guys want to target. You can target only men, only women. You can target only Scotch Plains. You can target the whole United States. It depends on how big you want your audience to be. Right now, what I have checked off is just the major cities in the country. I have California, major states, California, Florida, New Jersey, New York. I don't really see the point right now in expanding any further to any of these other countries, but maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But this is what I have, and you guys can play around with this and see what works. Then, most importantly, what you have to start looking at is what interests do people that you want to follow your page, what interests should they have? So for instance, I have a couple of interests here that you can see. They say creative real estate investing, landlord, real estate broker, real estate development, real estate entrepreneur, real estate investing, real property, entrepreneurship, real estate, family, physical fitness. Like there's a lot of little things here that interests that I would like for my demographics that I should be aware of. So I'm going to show you guys now some of my additional interests that I have. I think there's more here. If I wanted to add more interest, I did last night. I don't know, we're not showing. Maybe I didn't save them. All right, so right now, if I wanted to add some more interest, right, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna type in. I want people who like Zillow to see my page. So I put Zillow. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't save it. And then I want to put the other version of Zillow. Okay, I want Trulia. I want Realtor.com. Okay. Any other demographics you guys think we should be putting in here? Maybe there's another thing called a behavior. A behavior is something that people are going to be likely to do, or something that they're probably going to be doing in the future. So I'm going to type in here likely to. Sorry. Let me get this out of the way first. All right, so let me get to the behaviors in a second. I'm going to show you guys some more additional interests. So once you've already put in the additional interests that you like, if you want some popular suggestions, just click here where it says suggestions, and then it's going to tell you, look, there's these other things here that you're probably not aware of that you should be using as your preferences as well. So I'm going to go in here and see what I would like to add to this. So I'm going to add some of the more popular real estate brands. So I'm going to put in here Coldwell Banker. I'm going to put in here Century 21. I'm going to go ahead and also put in Keller Williams. Even though these are competition, but if they visited these sites, they're going to also see our stuff if they are looking for it on Facebook. National Association of Realtors, Realogy. You want luxury real estate. Real Estate Investment Club. Sotheby's International. Like, you guys get the point, right? You guys understand what I'm doing here? Mm-hmm. Property. All right, so just to give you an idea, that's what it is now. There is a thing called behaviors, and I'll see if I can find it here. For some reason, it's not coming up. It's not coming up on this one. All right. So we're going to leave our interest as it is. I think behaviors only show up when you're doing an ad, not when you're creating a page. All right, so right now it's telling me that according to the demographics I've added, that there are, or there were, let's see how many there are now. Let me add one more. See if it comes up. All right, according to what it says here, there are about 33 million people who fit this criteria. So most likely we're going to have a good broad audience. So we're just going to go ahead and save this. And now we've curated our page for the audience that we want. All right, so that's what you guys need to do. That's something that is really important. It's not just about having a page and say, okay, I did it. You know, there's a lot of things in the back end that you guys don't know are really important. So then moving on to the next thing, what you want to do is obviously you want to connect certain other social media platforms to your Facebook. So Facebook allows you to connect to Instagram and allows you to connect to Twitter as well. So you want to make sure that those things are done. So I'll show you how easy that can be. So under settings, you want to just jump onto the Instagram tab. And on the Instagram tab, you're going to see that here you can connect to an existing account. Right? So you want to take the time to do this. You know, why is this important? Because now, if you're sharing something to, sorry about that. If you're sharing something to Instagram, it's going to save you a lot of time to just share it to Facebook right from the Instagram platform. If you're on Facebook, you can actually respond and you can check your Instagram from Facebook. So there's a lot of things you can do from both platforms for the other platform. So that's something you want to get done as soon as possible as well. And if you don't have an Instagram account, you need to create an Instagram account. All right, so now for Twitter, that would have to be done under your personal settings. So you go to your personal settings under your own name, and then you go to your settings here, and then you'll see that there are under this, hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay. So here you go to your settings, and you're going to see that there's, I think it's under apps. Mobile privacy in general. Let me see where it is. I know it's under your personal. I'll find it. Danny, can you look for it on your computer? I think it's under your personal when you look for Twitter.
What do you look for?
You can connect your Twitter account to your Facebook as well. I know a lot of people don't use Twitter, but since we don't use Twitter, that's more of a reason why we connected to this, because we don't have to go on Twitter to hit people who are on Twitter. We can just do it from Instagram. We can do it from Facebook. So I think it's under your, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's under your personal. Check the settings out under personal tab, Dan. I'm going to check real quick under the all right, so let's jump back in and I'll show you guys what else we can do here. So with once we've got connected to our other platforms, one really cool thing that I learned how to do is once you're connected to all your platforms, you got everything straightened out. One of the biggest things here is going to be growing your likes and growing your followers. Now the reason why you want to have a lot of likes on your Facebook page is because the more people like your page, they're automatically following you as well. So you're going to be showing up on their feeds. Once your page becomes more relevant, Facebook will categorize you better, so you'll show up more for people who are actually looking for different things that you're related to. But one of the biggest things that I learned how to do here is that you can actually cross-promote with other pages. So for instance, right here in this office, we have over, probably 20 people using Facebook, and everyone has a different following, right? So let's just say Diego has a following, Paul has a different following, I have a different following. So what you can do now with Facebook is that you can actually like someone's page as your page, right? So if you go ahead and do that, like I'll give you guys an example. Like I'll look up right now Diego Escobar.
It says you're linked already. It says you're linked already.
I know I am, but where'd you find it?
Oh, you have to type in the web address, facebook.com/Twitter.
Yeah, but the settings are somewhere.
There will be the option for you to link your profile to Twitter.
Okay. All right, so what I did here is I went to Diego's business page, right? So I'm on Diego's business page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to see these 3 dots that I'm highlighting right now. I'm going to click these 3 dots, and I'm going to like it as my page, right? Once I've liked it as my page, I'm going to pick which page I want to use, and I'm going to submit, and I'm going to like his page. Okay. So it's done. So I've liked this page. Now what does that do, right? It gives Diego another like, obviously. But now what I do is I go back to my my business page, and I jump onto my settings, and I'm going to go to the featured. Okay, right here, to the feature with the little star next to it. Now, what you're going to see here, these are other pages that I'm currently promoting on my page. So if my page has, I don't know, 1,000 likes, and then I'm featuring other people on my page, when people visit my page, they're going to see, oh wow, this guy has another page that he likes. Let me see what their page is about. So it'll cross promote other people's pages. So now that I like Diego's page, I can highlight Diego and save him. So now Diego's going to show up on my liked pages as well on my business page. So if I'm here, according to what Facebook says, is that you're able to show other pages that you've liked. So here, as you see, pages liked by this page, you'll see other people. And if people want to scroll through your stuff, they'll see the pages that I liked. So if they like my content and they know I like other people's content, they might go to theirs and also build that following as well. So that's something to do with each other in the office. I think it's a good idea to cross-promote each other, because somebody might have 200 likes, someone else may have 300 likes, and you guys start liking each other, cross-promoting each other. It'll definitely help you guys build each other's audience up. So try doing that to give each other a hand with that. All right, so let me see what else we can do here. So you have the instructions how to do that. Now, another thing you want to get in the habit of is that if you're going to start building a real page, you have to start asking your friends to like your page. Now, there's a lot of different ways of doing this, but the simplest way of doing it, obviously, is just going to, and I don't know if it's going to allow me to do it because I think they might have put me on timeout, but you can go in here and ask your friends to like your page. So the way you do that is when you're on this, you just click here where it says like invite your friends, and you'll see that all your friends will pop up here. Now for me, it may not happen because I do think that they took us off this setting for a while because we tried to do something creative over the weekend. So if I had all my friends here, I would invite every single friend that I had. Right now I only have one friend. So I invited her, and I'm going to close it, right? But you guys may have 200-300 friends, 1,000 friends. Invite every single person. And then it's going to become almost a habit for you guys to at least once a week build more friends. The easiest way to build more friends is you go on your friends, your friends' posts, especially the ones that have a lot of activity, like the posts that have like 100 likes, or a whole bunch of activity or a whole bunch of comments, like that one you showed me this morning, Pam. If you went in there and you friended every one of those people, like now you've just created real list of maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 people. What did that do? That gives you the opportunity of, after they've become your friend, now you can invite them to like your page. So that's how you can start growing your page into the thousands of likes. So that's one way to do it, and it works really well. I built most of the pages that way. You may want to get creative sometimes. I hold a contest. I know a couple of the agents here, they did that. They said, they put a post out and they said, anyone who likes my page or likes this post, shares and comments, we're giving away, a gift card or something to, some kind of like compensation or something cool. But what that does is that contest builds your brand. It helps you get out there more. It does more. I feel it does more than boosting the post, because it's organically being shared by everyone. And when something gets shared a lot of times, it has a chance of really going viral. So you definitely want to try doing something like that as well. Now, the other thing you can do too is you can message people directly if they have not liked you. So once you've invited all your friends to like your page, and they can't like it anymore, because once you've invited them once, you can't invite them again. What you can do is you can copy the URL to your page, and you can instant message people and say, hey, I've noticed that we've been friends for a while. Please go to my page and like it if you have the opportunity, and just message them that, and just copy that message and paste it to every single person that you have in your friends. And that way, if they didn't like you the first time, they might be able to like you the second time. But you'll notice that once you invite all your friends, maybe only like 10-20% of them actually took the time to go like your page. So if you keep harassing the same people you have, you might get some more juice out of them. So just try that when you get a chance. That'll definitely work too.
You can only invite someone once?
You can only invite somebody one time. Yeah, Facebook does a lot of things for them not to become spammy, because the minute they become spammy, people are not going to want to go on there anymore. So they're going to lose their edge. So one thing you're going to notice is they're always one step ahead of us. Always, just when we think we got them, they have an algorithm for that. Okay. All right. Next thing I wanted to tell you guys too is you want to keep your page as engaging and as interesting looking as possible. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, like there's been a couple times where I've changed my banner. I started my banner in the beginning with just the plain Culture Estate banner, the black and white one you guys seen, that you guys, like I just showed you on Diego's page. Then I put a picture of all of us like at the park, and then I put a picture of the lion with the sign out in the front. And Facebook now recently, like a few months ago, started allowing you to put a video instead of putting a picture. So I put the video on here of our new contest, that we have going on. So the reason why you want to do this is because you want your page to always look fresh. You don't want people to be like, oh, I've been on this page so many times already, it's boring already, And it gives people a reason to come back and look at it again, because once you change your banner, you can share that with all your friends. Like, hey, Culture Estate changed their banner. People might come back to your page and see, wow, that's a pretty cool banner. The more interesting you make your banner, the more people are going to want to come. So, for instance, like with this one here, we created a great. Danny did a great video with Joelle on our contest.
Hey guys, we would just like to thank you for supporting us.
And now every time somebody goes to our page, they see our contest and they see the video.
$100 gift card.
So it actually.
Hey guys, we would just like to thank you.
It's actually very engaging for our audience. Once in a while, you also might want to change up your profile picture. Like I just recently changed up the profile picture because I was getting a little tired. Next time, I might change it to something else. But always try to keep your page very, very relevant and updated. If you forget about your page, it's going to get really tired and people are not going to want to see that. So keep that in mind. The way to do that, guys, to change your videos is right here on the top left. You're going to see it's going to say change cover. And you could do that there. And then here, if you want to change this one, you just hover over the little camera, and you could do it either one, and it's really simple, super simple. Okay, so content, right? Like once you have your page and you have it all tweaked the way it's supposed to be, what kind of content do you put on there? The content that gets the most views are going to be videos, right? That's number one thing. Pictures and videos are great, but make sure you at least have pictures, because sometimes people just write something and it might get a few likes. Picture may get more likes, video gets the most likes, and it gets them engaged. Now, the only way you're gonna captivate your audience is if it's stuff that's actually interesting. So don't just like take a picture of like a random object and expect people to engage with it. Have something with a story behind it, or something that people don't see every day. Like today, I'm going to give you guys an example. There's a live auction, an outdoor auction that's being held today around the corner up here in Berkeley Heights. There's like a huge like Western restaurant that's being auctioned off, and it's today a live auction at 4 o'clock. Like that's the coolest thing I've heard of in a while, because that's stuff you only see in TV or in different states. But like here, there's no such thing as like a live auction on the steps. So I mean, that's something cool to go film and put on your page, or do it live. Do different things so people can start really going to your page to see what kind of stuff you got on there. So yeah, like I mentioned, going live, right? Why is going live so important? Because Facebook wants to be the #1 platform for live. So they put those live videos, and they will make it more visible to people than regular posts. So don't be scared about going live. Going live is actually a really great way to build an audience. Now, if you're on live, right? there may not be anybody watching. You're like, why am I doing this? Nobody, like one person's watching it, right? I learned that you could actually invite people to come and join your live feed while you're on live. So if you take the first few minutes before you start your live to just start inviting all your friends and just inviting, before you know, you can have 30, 40, 50 people watching you live. So I didn't know that, but now I do. So next time I do something live, I'm going to do it that way. So that's something for you guys to take in consideration of too, and engage with them while they're coming on. Like, hey Diego, how you doing, man? How was your day or whatever, and then to talk to people. It's cool. People like to see stuff like that. Use filters. The filters are really cool. Like the other day, I turned Rocco green because I just said, he was a beast. He was killing it. So that video actually got more views and likes than the ones that I've done without a filter. Like, just play around with it. It might be interesting. It catches people's attention, because imagine this: you're scrolling on your newsfeed, and then you see a green guy. You're like, what the hell? That you stop and you watch. Like, what is that? What's going on? Okay, shooting in portrait or landscape, right? Now, why this is important is because there's certain situations where you want to do one or the other. If you're doing a selfie live, you can obviously go portrait, and there's no problem with that. But if you're going to be doing something like, if I wanted to shoot this room right now live, right? If I wanted to do that, then what I would do is I would go landscape. But the problem is that if you start your video and then you change orientation, it's not going to show up right. It's going to show up, your portrait's going to show up landscape, and everyone's going to be looking like this, and they're going to be like, I'm not watching this, and then you keep going. So you start your orientation before you go live, and then Facebook knows to make it that the orientation. You guys get it? All right, good. So use whatever it is to make, use whatever landscape is, use whatever mode is going to be good before you start. So that's the point of that. Now this is the $1,000,000 question everybody has, right? How do you boost a post, right? How do you boost a post, and how do you make it successful? Now this is really interesting because it's the simplest thing in the world, right? So let's go to my page, and I'll show you guys what it takes to boost a post. So let's just say that I wanted to boost. Let me find one of my recent posts. Okay, let's just say I wanted to boost this post, right? The one of our contests. If I want to boost this post, I click on Boost Post. But that Boost Post may not be available right away. Why is that? Because Facebook wants to make sure you're not boosting porn, you're not boosting something illegal, something that's offensive, so they check your stuff before you can go actually live. Sometimes it takes a matter of minutes, sometimes it takes a day. So you gotta give it some time. So if you're doing this for an open house, make sure that you start your boost as early as possible. Start the ad maybe on a Thursday, so that way if it takes up until Friday for it to get approved, then at least you have a few days for it to sit on people's laps before it disappears. All right, so now once you're on here, it's going to ask you, okay, what kind of button do you want? You can have no button, a shop now button. So if we're selling something, we want to do a shop now, right? If we want to book somebody to come in for an appointment, we could do book now, and then they'll make an appointment with us. If we want to do learn more is really popular because people don't feel like they're being sold, right? So if you want people to visit your website, you can put learn more, and it'll take them to your website, it'll take them to your messenger, it'll take them wherever you want. You can figure out where you want the traffic to go. If you want people to sign up to like an email list, you have them sign up. If you want to invite them to an event, you can get directions. If you want them just sending you messages, because people may just want to communicate with you through Messenger, you can put that. So it just depends on what you would want. So for an ad like this ad is about creating a contest that whoever obviously likes us or invites their friends can get a $100 gift card at the end of the month. So for something like this, I would probably want them to communicate with me through Messenger, because if they send me a message, then we can send them the contest rules. If we send them the contest rules through Messenger, they get everything. They would be entered. So now after that, what I want to do is I want to create an audience, right? Now, I'm not just going to pick one of my generic audiences that I already have saved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new audience so I can show you guys how easy it is, right? We can create an audience. We can have Facebook create an audience for us, but that's not that great of an idea because Facebook may not understand what we're trying to do with this particular post. It might just take people from our old posts and want to recycle that. We can have people that we choose through targeting. We can have people who liked our page. We can just market to them. Or we can have people who like your page and their friends. So it depends what you guys want to do, what scale you want to send it out to. So let's just say we want to choose People choose through targeting, right? All right, so now it's going to ask us what kind of people do we want to send it to. It's going to ask us the age. We can edit the age and all the rest of the stuff that we talked about earlier. So let's just say we wanted all men or women, or we could just want men or just women, depends. The age, for a contest like this, I really wouldn't care. I'd probably go as far as 65 and older. I just want as much traffic as possible. Where do I want this? I want this as far as possible. I want it, as many people as I can possibly get my hands on. So I want to slide this over to 50 miles from our current location. If we don't want it to just be in a radius of where we are, and we want as many people everywhere to see it, what we could do is we can just go, take this out, and we want to put maybe just New Jersey. And then we have a huge audience. So it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to build brand awareness, if you're building brand awareness, then of course it doesn't matter how big you go, because you want as many people to know your brand as possible. But if you're trying to sell something to a specific area, like if we're going to do an open house, we want to do it within a 25-mile radius, because people come within 25 miles usually to buy a house, and we would go that route. But this is different. Obviously, if I wanted to do it that way, I would go this way. Then I'd save that. I want to choose the interest too. I'm sorry, let me show you guys where that comes. So here where it says add demographics, interests, or behaviors. So if I wanted to target people for an open house, I would put, obviously, the more popular ones. We want to target people who've been on Zillow, because where does everyone go before they start looking for a house? Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, with all the popular ones. So if you guys want to keep it safe, let's go Zillow, let's go Trulia, let's go to Realtor.com. Now, what's going to happen now is after I've given Facebook a couple of ideas of what I'm targeting, it'll give you suggestions of people you should start targeting too. So here, there's a behavior here that I was talking to you guys about earlier that says likely to move. So I want people who are likely to move. I want people who are buying a house. So you can start getting the idea of what it is that you guys need to start doing in order to build yourself an audience. Try not to get too specific, because what's going to happen is that if you get too crazy, you're going to start picking people that look at Zillow, are likely to move, who drive a Honda, who use Google Chrome, who have been on a vacation in the last week. It gets so specific that you could take your audience from a few hundreds of thousands to like 1,200 or 1,000 people, because you got way too specific. So I did that mistake because I've been playing around with this for weeks, and I've been trying to figure out like what is the formula. So what you want to do is you want to be as broad but as specific as possible, if that makes any sense. So be broad but specific at the same time. So keep your audiences pretty large, that way you guys can target to a big variety of people. Okay, then we want to save that, and then that's how easy that is. And then once it's saved, you guys are going to go down here and pick your budget. Once you've picked your budget, you can either pick it by an amount or an amount per day. So it depends on what you guys want to do. All right, so that's up to you what you want to do. You can also, it tells you how many people you're going to reach with that budget. So the higher your budget, let's just say we want a $500 budget. If we want $500, then we reach 81,000 people, or up to 210,000 people. So it's a big, difference in the amount of people you're hit with a bigger budget. Now, do we want to do it for 1 day, 7 days, 14 days? So instead of all the money being done in one shot, it'll spread it over time, depending on what you want. Now, what you're going to see here is this thing called the Facebook Pixel. If you guys haven't, well, I'm sure probably no one, because we haven't even gotten around to doing it yet. If you guys haven't checked this out yet, a Facebook Pixel, what it is it's a tracker. It tracks all the traffic and all the people who go to visit your website. So if you want to put a Facebook Pixel on your website, just grab it and follow the instructions, and then it'll show you all the people you're funneling through Facebook to anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be your website. It could be your landing page. It could be anything. It just makes sure that you're getting the data that you need in order to make better decisions on marketing later. So this is what our page, this is what our ad would look like on a desktop. This is what it would look like on our mobile, and we can even pick other ways of marketing it. We can go to Instagram, we can go to Audience Network. Audience Network, for you guys who don't know, Audience Network is basically Facebook marketing with other platforms. So now your ad, if it's on Facebook, it doesn't necessarily just have to be on Facebook anymore. Now we can go out to different websites that are partners with Facebook. So if somebody's watching you on Facebook and then they go and they start looking at, like, I don't know, the Star Ledger or something online, or I don't know what people look at online anymore, People magazine, I don't know what people look at, but they always have like sponsored links at the bottom. They always have like ads. Your ad is going to show up there when the space is available. So now you're going to be showing up in all different places, which is really cool. And I'll show you exactly what that may look like. Okay. All right, so now that we learned how to boost the post, right, we want to make sure that our content is good. What we do by making sure our content is good is we want to get our lighting correct. We want to get our audio correct. So if we're shooting a video and there's bad lighting, chances are that people are not going to want to see that video that much, right? So we want to make sure we have good lighting. How do we do that? We don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of lighting kit. We can just make sure that we're shooting at the right time of day, or maybe we're shooting outdoors, or maybe we're shooting in a room that's well lit. You understand? So just make sure that you're checking before you start your videos. We want to make sure we get good audio. Now, there's a real easy way to get great audio for your videos. You can either use your headphones and you're doing a selfie and your headphones are picking up the audio, or if anybody has like the wireless things that people put on their neck, or the earpiece, that connects with your phone too, and you can use that as your audio. So if you start using these things as your audio is going to get a lot better. So it makes a big difference, especially when you're going live. You want to start getting in the habit of doing that, because people would rather watch a bad video than watch a video with bad sound. So make sure your sound is on point. Skip a couple things. Okay, now if you guys want to boost an ad, right? You want to boost an ad. I just showed you guys how to do that. If you want to boost an ad that's a picture and you want to put writing over the picture, like you want to say, like, you know, call me today for a free CMA or something, right? If you want that to show on your picture, you have to make sure that it's smaller than 10% of your picture. If it's 10% or bigger, they're gonna flag it and they're not gonna post it correctly, or they're not even gonna post it at all. You're gonna violate the terms. So the reason why they do it is because they don't want their posts to be too like spammy. They don't want them to be feeling like they're really advertisements. They want it to feel like it's real content. So the whole purpose of advertising on Facebook is that you want your post to look like content, not to look like ads. All right, does that make sense? All right, so keep that in mind when you're doing that. Now you want to also, now the other numbers you see here I just covered earlier, so I don't have to go over that again. Okay, now once you created your ad, you want to make sure that you know how your ad is performing. So you're going to want to start using this thing called the Ads Manager, right? On the Ads Manager, I'm going to show you guys something, right? We did an open house on Sunday for Harry's open house, and we had an ad out for it that you guys are going to see. Now this is an example of a very successful ad, and I'll tell you guys why. This ad got almost 5,000 3-second views, right? Which means that like over 3 seconds or above, which means that over 5,000 people looked at it. But out of 5,000 views, but it reached 6,000 people. So that means that almost above 90 or above % of the people who had this on their feed actually watched it. So that was good. That was huge. What does that mean for a cost? It means that every single view that he got cost him less than 2 cents per view, which is incredible. Like, that's crazy. We spent $100 on the budget, right? And it ran for one day, entire day, right? And it boosted the hell out of it. So the other thing we need to look at too is this. This is really important. If you guys don't want to get into like all these demographics or statistics, the only things you got to look at is this, right? You have to look at your relevancy score, which means how relevant was your ad to your audience. So if your relevancy score is between 1 and 10, 10 being the highest, if you're down at 1 or 2 or 3, that means your ad is not performing good, which means that your cost is going to be much higher because it's costing you more money to get people to engage with it. But if your ad is very relevant and your audience is very specific, then your relevancy score is going to be very high. So an 8 or above is a great relevancy score. This particular ad got a 9. I've seen people get relevancy scores at 10 and their ad costs so little that it doesn't even register. So when you see how much it costs, it says 0.0 because it's probably like a fraction of a penny how cheap it costs them to get views on that. So you want to always keep track of those two things. You want to see your relevancy score, and you want to see your cost per result. Now I'm going to show you some other ads that are struggling right now so you guys can see the difference. All right, so let's just go to this ad. I put out an ad recently for new agents, and it's getting better. The numbers are improving every day because I've been tweaking it. So what I'm going to show you here is that an ad that needs some work is going to look like this. My cost per result on this ad is $1.96, which means it's costing me almost $2 to get a person to actually watch this ad or click on my ad, right? So that's not great. My relevancy score is a 3. I'm trying to improve that. I'm giving it a few days for it to catch up. So what this means is this is something that if this is happening to your ad, you need to stop your ad, find out what's wrong with it, start tweaking it, let it run for another day or two, then revisit your ad to see if it's improving. If it's not improving, you cancel your ad. The other thing you can do too is you can make duplicate ads. You can make the same ad 3 times to 3 different audiences and see which audience is performing the best. If you want to see who is liking your stuff and you want to make it very specific, you click where it says view charts and you start looking at your demographics. Your demographics here are going to state that the biggest audiences that we have are going to be men 18 to 24, and then it starts to even out where you get to 25 to 45. It looks like women are leading that demographic. So if you want to be very specific, you want to see, okay, how do I get my ad cost down? Maybe what I want to do is I only want to target this to maybe 18 to 24-year-old men and see how much that's going to cost me. Maybe I want to do a different ad and just do 25 to 45-year-old women and see how much that ends up costing me. So play around with the demographics differently, and you can see how you can get your ads cheap as possible. And that way you guys can start doing this more consistently where it makes sense for you guys to market this way. Okay, any questions on that? I know that was kind of like a lot right there. No? All right, good. All right. Interacting with your audience, right? This is really important because it's not just about like, you know, posting an ad and just seeing the likes and the comments rack up. You actually have to go into your ads. So whenever, if the office boosts a post for you guys and you guys did an open house, right? Don't feel like, okay, well, the open house is over. I didn't get anybody walk through the house that bought a house with me. You still have like 50 or 60 people in the Facebook ad itself who you can friend, you can message, and you can talk to. So everyone who liked them, and it could be a potential client. So now there's a reason why you can reach out to them. So message them and say, you know, thank you for liking my ad. By any chance, are you in the market, or is it just, you know, you being, you know, nice and liking my ad? You can say whatever you want, and then in that message you could also leave a link to your website. You know, you could do a lot of things, but these are like 50 more people that you can communicate with to try to build some kind of relationship there. So there's leads everywhere, you know, when you're boosting an ad. So don't just think it's for the open house, and then if nobody buys the house that day, it's a dead cause. Okay, so when you do communicate with them, right, and people, you know, tell them, you know, I'm looking, but I'm not ready yet. Even if they're not ready yet, out of that conversation, always try to get at least an email address. People are very loose with their email addresses, not so much with their phone numbers. If you can get at least the email address, you're good. If you can get both, you're straight and you're really good. Because what you're going to do is you're going to throw them into conversion with their email account, and then they're going to start communicating with them all the time. So your job is pretty much done until they're ready. If you get their phone number too, it's even a better way, because now conversions will text message them and email them, so you guys are you're even more covered there. So try to do that as often as possible. You know, offer some obviously value for that. You know, tell them, listen, I'd love to get your email address and send you my my website. You know, that way you can check out the properties that are in your marketplace, and when you're ready, you know, you let me know. People give the email address pretty easily. So that's always something you have to look forward to doing. Okay, so now joining groups. Now, I don't know who here understands what groups are. Groups are just a random bunch of people who have similar interests. So let's just say that there's groups in Facebook for realtors, there's groups for investors, there's group for local groups like Scotch Plains group or Union group or Elizabeth group, or, you know, people who are like Catholic, or whatever groups that you guys are interested in. You can join those groups, and the reason why they're good is because now when you have one ad to post, instead of posting it just to your 1,000 friends, you can also post it in this group that has maybe 10,000 followers. So now your ad is getting seen in more places. So be very mindful of that instead of, just posting something and hoping, keeping your fingers crossed that it does well, you have to take the initiative and start doing it. I'm not sure if you guys know how to join groups, but here in your drop down screen, it'll show here there's little 2 groups things, right? Either you can create a group if you feel adventurous. You guys can create your own group. I did a group called NJ Top Producers. I've been sleeping on it. Haven't been inviting a lot of people to it, but it's been growing little by little organically. But if you want to join a group, you can go here that says new group, and you can start seeing what groups are popular amongst your friends. And you can start seeing like, okay, well, I like groups. I like certain kinds of groups. So like maybe I want to like start looking for a real estate group. I clicked real estate group and I found 2 real estate groups here, and there's 3 real estate groups actually. If I click more, I can see all the real estate groups that I can find. So these groups may be local. I'd pick local groups if you want to market to open houses and listings that you have in the area. But if you want to just build a brand too, you can market to groups throughout the whole country. So that's up to you totally what you want to do. Now, after you've mastered the way of joining the groups, what you want to make sure you're doing is that you're not posting the wrong content to a group. So if you're in a union group, right? Let's just say Union, New Jersey group. Don't go in there and post an open house about a house in Rahway because they get pissed off. You can post about something in Union and they'll be happy. Or if you're like an automotive club and then you're posting in there like, come visit my open house, they might get pissed too. So if you're going to be in an automotive club, it's not that you can't cross promote there too. You can, but you'd have to be a little bit more disguised about it. So you can do a video maybe at a car show and saying, don't forget, if you guys are looking for a great realtor, I don't just know cars, I also know homes. Put it on there too. So get creative with these things if you need to cross market. So like I'll give you another example. Sophie, you hang out at Yoli's a lot. You can actually join groups restaurant groups or food groups or foodie groups and stuff. Say like, oh, Yoli's has the best, arroz con, gandules or whatever, con gris, whatever, right? And then show it and then be like, yeah, if you guys are looking for a realtor too, kind of like throw your message in there. Like it's just a way of getting a little more creative with that. All right, so
I have a question.
Yes.
So you joined a group,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you post something, they see it because you're part of the group, or they only see it if they go to your page and see it, right?
No, if you post it in their group, everyone that's a member of that group gets an alert. It says Stephanie just posted on, or for sale by owner group or something, or homes in New Jersey group or whatever it's called. So everyone that's in that group, the 10,000 people, will get an alert. Unless they have their alerts turned off for the group. If they tend to go to that group a lot, then they'll see that your content on there. It helps, believe me. It's taken our videos, like when we really want to promote a video, if we get maybe 800 to 1,000 views by ourselves, if we put it on all the groups, we get over 10,000 easily. So it really does help. Now, the things that perform the best on posts, guys, are going to be listings and loan products. So for instance, if there's a loan product that might be out right now that might catch people's attention, put it on there as like an ad and just say, hey guys, I just found out that my loan officer now has a program with 3% down conventional, or we have a grant program where you can buy a house for no money down. Post something like that and just maybe like a picture of like you smiling or you like shaking the hand of the loan officer who gave it to you or gave you the program, and if you want, boost that ad will perform extremely well, because there's a lot of people who have maybe who maybe you want to do an ad like, my loan officer does credit repair for anybody that needs to buy a house within the next 6 months. Call me today and find out details, and then boost that ad. You'll have 20,000 people that's going to contact you because everyone has bad credit and they don't think they could buy a house. So just got to boost the right stuff. Now, if you still don't understand Facebook and you want more insight on how to utilize it for your business, Facebook has a course called the Facebook Blueprint. All right, so if you go to Facebook /Blueprint, you're going to learn the basics. You're going to learn the hidden tools that Facebook has, and you're also going to get certified. So why that's important is because imagine if you go to a listing appointment, right? and you show the homeowner that you don't just talk a good game, that you market and you do this. You actually have a certificate from Facebook that says you've taken their course and you understand Facebook better than 99% of the real estate agents out there. So this could help you guys in a listing presentation. It'll give it a little edge that most people may not have. And that's going to set you apart. You always have to find things that are going to make you different. Now, obviously, we're very tech savvy here, so this is something that I would think would be important to everyone who's taking their business seriously. So take that as soon as possible. You don't have to take it all in one time. You can take it, stop it, continue, keep going back to it. But it's good stuff. Danny's actually taking it right now, and I'm taking it as well. So you guys will love it. Any questions so far on what we've covered? Anybody? Nope? Okay. Okay, so second thing I want to talk to you guys about today is the mentorship program. I still have the list of the people who signed up. I have not forgotten about you. Today I'm going to be setting some appointments, so afterwards expect an email from me if you signed my mentorship list. We just need to figure out a time that's convenient for both of us, and we'll start our first mentorship. A few of you guys already have started, but I want to get to everyone. And I'm only going to have the limited space of 10 people at a time. So if you're not in it right now, wait for someone to fall out or wait for someone to finish, and then you guys can jump in. I just don't have the time to do more than that at any given time. Now, the other thing I wanted to cover too is there's been a lot of questions on like how to use Mojo. And Mojo is the simplest thing in the world to use once you've used it a few times. It's not hard. I've created another video the other day. I posted on YouTube. It's called How to Download Leads from LandVoice and Put Them into Mojo. Okay, so now you guys have how to get distressed properties and put them into Mojo, and now you also have how to get LandVoice leads and put them into Mojo. So now you've got all your bases pretty much covered. You've got distressed and you've got properties that are expired. So between the two, you guys should be able to download any list you want and upload any list you want. Even though the videos may not be 100% like perfect for you guys to understand, it'll at least give you a background. Try to do it as much as you can yourself. Now, whoever hasn't done any dialing sessions with me yet and they're still like, oh, I don't understand how to use the platform, let me know, because we have to do it. I'll do it every morning with someone that has never done it before, unless it's like a Wednesday or something where I'm usually really, really busy, or a Monday. But Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays in the morning, if you've never done it before and you want me to hold your hand the first few times, I have no problem with that. I want everyone in the office to understand that without utilizing Mojo, you're not really being productive. You're not making the best of your time. If you're not prospecting, you're not a real estate agent. So you need to start getting in the habit of doing this stuff. And Rocco, you used it last week for the first time, the whole week, right? And how did your week was probably incredible, right?
I had 3 listing appointments last week, and I got 2 more this week.
Yeah, look at that. 5 listing appointments 1 week. Yeah, and we're not even going to talk about Lim. Lim is like a machine right now, a listing machine. She had 3 open houses yesterday, and like, who does that? And a contract. And
Actually, a contract and 3 offers in the flip.
Yeah, and if she answered all her phone calls, she'd probably have more. It's crazy, unbelievable. So she does well with it. Everybody can do the same. It's just consistency. So if you're not using it, please, let's get it going. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then Danny's going to take us out with his Health and Fitness 101.